The devastating findings of a decades-long ADHD study. Imagine living your life feeling like you're constantly missing some crucial piece of information. You see others navigating the world with what seems like effortless grace, managing tasks, relationships, and their own minds, while you feel like you're perpetually swimming against a strong current. Maybe you're told you're not trying hard enough, that you're too sensitive, too disorganized, or just a bit much. You internalize this, wondering what's fundamentally wrong with you. Now, imagine discovering that there's a name for this struggle, a neurological difference that explains so much, but for decades, the world largely believed it didn't really affect people like you. This isn't just a hypothetical scenario, it's the lived reality for countless women and girls who have ADHD. For years, this condition was seen primarily as something that affected hyperactive little boys. Girls with ADHD often flew under the radar, their symptoms misread or dismissed, leading to a lifetime of misunderstanding and struggle. But groundbreaking research started to change that narrative, revealing the profound impact ADHD has on women and girls, and uncovering a hidden crisis that had been unfolding in plain sight. We're going to explore the story of one of the most important studies that cracked open this understanding, delve into the unique challenges faced by women and girls with ADHD, and discuss why knowing about this condition is not just helpful, but potentially life-changing. Stay till the end, where we will make a step-by-step plan on how to apply this to your life. We put a lot of hours into this animated video, so if you want to support our new channel, please like this video, subscribe, and push the notification bell so you don't miss our new videos. Let's begin. Part 1. The long, unseen struggle. For a long time, if you pictured someone with ADHD, you likely pictured a young boy bouncing off the walls, unable to sit still in school. This image was so dominant that it shaped how doctors, teachers, and even researchers understood the condition. ADHD was synonymous with hyperactivity and impulsivity, traits often more outwardly visible in boys. Girls, on the other hand, were expected to be quieter, more compliant, and better at masking their internal struggles. If a girl was struggling, it was often attributed to anxiety, depression, or just shyness, anything but ADHD. This massive blind spot meant that generations of girls grew up without understanding why their brains worked differently, often blaming themselves for their difficulties. They weren't getting the diagnoses they needed, and therefore, they weren't getting the support or treatment that could have changed the trajectory of their lives. This is the context in which a pivotal study emerged, one that dared to look closely at girls and challenge the prevailing wisdom. Part 2. A study changes everything. In the late 1990s, a team at the University of California in Berkeley launched a study that would become a landmark in understanding ADHD in females. They recruited over 200 girls, some diagnosed with ADHD, and a control group without it. This was called the Berkeley Girls with ADHD Longitudinal Study, or the BGALS study for short. Instead of just relying on questionnaires, the researchers observed these girls closely in real-world settings, like summer camps, over several years. They followed them into adolescence and adulthood, gathering rich, detailed data on their behavior, their academic performance, their social lives, and their emotional well-being. Led by psychologist Dr. Stephen Hinshaw, this study provided undeniable evidence that ADHD is not just a boy's disorder. It showed that girls absolutely have ADHD, and crucially, that their experience of the condition often looks different from boys, with significant long-term consequences if left unaddressed. The BGALS study forced the scientific and clinical communities to open their eyes and finally start paying attention to girls with ADHD. Did you know that ADHD brains learn better visually? That's why you are currently learning from this video. Wouldn't it be better if you had an app specially designed for ADHD brains like you? That's exactly what BookWatch offers. We have animated book summaries of the best non-fiction books. You can watch animated videos like the one you are currently watching, and also ask our AI how to specifically apply each book to your life. Check out the BookWatch app in the first link in the description below. Part 3. more than one kind of ADHD. To understand the B-GALS findings, it helps to know that ADHD isn't a single, uniform condition. There are actually different ways it can show up. There's the hyperactive impulsive type, which fits that classic image of someone who struggles to sit still, fidgets constantly, and acts without thinking. Then there's the inattentive type, where the main challenges are with focus, organization, staying on task, and memory. People with this type might seem spacey, forgetful, or easily distracted, but they aren't necessarily disruptive. Finally, there's the combined type, which is a mix of both hyperactive impulsive and inattentive symptoms. Understanding these types is important because the B-GALS study revealed that the specific pattern of symptoms had a big impact on the kinds of challenges the girls faced over time. While all forms of ADHD present difficulties, some showed a concerning link to more severe negative outcomes. Part 4. The Combined Type Challenge. One of the most striking and concerning findings from the B-GALS study was the challenging trajectory of girls with the combined type of ADHD. These are the girls who struggled with both the outward signs of hyperactivity and impulsivity and the internal difficulties with inattention and organization. The research showed that girls with the combined type face significantly higher rates of negative life outcomes compared to girls without ADHD. This included difficulties in relationships, academic struggles, and vulnerability to unsafe situations. This was a critical discovery and highlighted a significant challenge for this specific group. Why was this type so much more impactful? It seems to be the perfect storm. You have the impulsivity leading to acting before thinking, which can cause social missteps, risky behaviors, and difficulty maintaining relationships. And you have the inattention and disorganization leading to academic struggles, feeling overwhelmed, and constant internal criticism. It's a double burden that makes navigating the complexities of adolescence and young adulthood incredibly difficult, especially when combined with other societal pressures. Part 5. The Silent Struggle of Inattention. While the combined type faced significant challenges, the B-GALS study also shed light on the difficulties faced by girls with the inattentive type. These girls are often the ones who are missed entirely. They aren't disruptive in class. They might even be quiet and polite. Their struggles are internal, difficulty focusing on lectures, forgetting homework assignments, struggling to organize their thoughts and belongings, and feeling overwhelmed by tasks that others seem to manage easily. Because their symptoms are less obvious, they often don't get flagged by teachers or parents. They might be seen as lazy, unmotivated, or just not very bright. This constant negative feedback and internal struggle erodes their self-esteem. They start to believe that something is fundamentally wrong with them, that they are simply not good enough. The B-GALS data showed that inattention itself was a significant contributor to psychological distress and difficult life outcomes when looking at symptoms dimensionally, not just by type. This underscores the profound impact of the silent struggle and the importance of recognizing that not all ADHD looks like hyperactivity. Part 6. The Weight of Expectation. Beyond the specific symptoms of ADHD, girls face unique societal pressures that can exacerbate their difficulties. Dr. Hinshaw has written about this, describing it as a triple bind for teenage girls. They are expected to be nurturing and empathetic, highly competitive and successful academically and athletically, and do all of this with effortless ease, while also conforming to often unrealistic beauty standards. This is an impossible tightrope walk for anyone, but for girls with ADHD, it's even harder. Their challenges with social cues might make them seem less empathetic. Their disorganization might hinder their academic or athletic performance, and their internal struggles can make achieving anything feel far from effortless. When a girl with ADHD struggles to meet these expectations, she's not only dealing with her neurological differences, but also the feeling that she's failing as a girl, failing to be what society expects her to be. This toxic combination of internal struggles and external pressures can crush self-esteem and contribute significantly to anxiety and depression. It highlights why ADHD in women and girls isn't just a medical issue, but also a feminist issue. Part 7. Consequences beyond academics. The B-Gals study didn't just look at academic performance, it followed these girls into various aspects of adulthood. The findings were stark regarding significant life events. Beyond the increased psychological distress and difficult relationship patterns, girls with ADHD in the study were nearly half, 48%, experiencing an unplanned pregnancy by their mid-20s, compared to about 10% of the control group. They were also 3 to 3.5 times more likely to have experienced dating violence or intimate partner violence. These aren't just statistics, they represent chaotic lives, difficult relationships, and missed opportunities. The impulsivity, difficulty with planning, and challenges with social judgment associated with ADHD can make navigating relationships and making healthy choices more challenging, especially without proper support and understanding. These consequences underline the urgent need to identify and support girls with ADHD early, before these patterns become entrenched. Part 8. The paradox of the wave. In recent years, especially since the pandemic, there's been a noticeable surge in women seeking and receiving ADHD diagnoses. Social media, particularly platforms like TikTok, have played a complex role. On the one hand, these platforms have created communities where women share their experiences, leading many to realize that their struggles have a name. It has reduced the feeling of isolation and provided a starting point for seeking help. This increased awareness is a significant positive step, a wave of recognition finally cresting after decades of neglect. However, this wave also has a downside. The sheer volume of information, some accurate, some not, can be overwhelming. There's a risk of self-diagnosis based on limited information and, more concerningly, the rise of online services offering quick diagnoses and medication prescriptions without thorough clinical evaluation. While increased access is needed, bypassing proper assessment by a qualified clinician who understands the nuances of ADHD in females can lead to misdiagnosis or inappropriate treatment. Navigating this new landscape requires careful discernment and a commitment to seeking professional help. Part 9. The freedom of understanding. For many women who receive an ADHD diagnosis later in life, it's a profoundly freeing experience. Suddenly, years of confusion, self-blame, and feeling not enough start to make sense. The diagnosis provides a framework for understanding past difficulties and a path forward for managing challenges. It shifts the narrative from "I am a failure" to "I have a brain that works differently, and I can learn strategies to thrive." This understanding is the first step towards building self-compassion, developing effective coping mechanisms, and advocating for the support one needs. It allows individuals to reframe their self-concept, recognizing that their struggles weren't due to a character flaw, but a neurological difference that can be managed. This knowledge is empowering and essential for recovery and building a fulfilling life. Part 10. Facing the wall of stigma. Despite the progress made, stigma surrounding ADHD and mental health conditions in general remains a significant barrier. For women, this stigma can be compounded by the historical misconception that they can't have ADHD or that their symptoms are just anxiety or personality quirks. This leads to dismissal, skepticism from others, and internalized shame. The feeling that you have to prove your diagnosis, that your struggles aren't valid, makes it harder to seek help, to ask for accommodations, and to talk openly about your experiences. Stigma isn't just about unkind words, it's about systemic barriers, lack of understanding in workplaces and educational institutions, and the feeling that you must hide a fundamental part of yourself to be accepted. Overcoming this requires a multi-pronged approach. Part 11. A path forward for all. So how do we move forward? How do we ensure that future generations of girls and women with ADHD don't face the same struggles with delayed diagnosis, misunderstanding, and difficult outcomes? It's a complex problem with no single easy answer, but progress is possible. We need increased awareness among parents, educators, and healthcare professionals about how ADHD presents in females beyond the stereotypical image. This means updating training and using assessment tools that capture the full range of symptoms, including inattention and internalizing behaviors. We need continued research to deepen our understanding of the female experience of ADHD across the lifespan. We need to challenge societal expectations placed on girls and women, creating an environment where it's okay to be imperfect and to ask for help. We need to reduce stigma through education and open conversations, encouraging people to share their stories and fostering empathy. We need to advocate for policies that ensure access to affordable, comprehensive diagnostic assessments and evidence-based treatments, including medication, therapy, and coaching. And importantly, we need to build supportive communities where women and girls with ADHD feel seen, heard, and validated. Knowledge is power, contact fosters understanding, and advocacy drives change. It will take collective effort at every level of society to build a world where ADHD in women and girls is recognized, understood, and supported. Here is a step-by-step plan based on what we've discussed. Number 1. Educate yourself and others. Learn more about how ADHD presents in females beyond the stereotypical image. Read books, listen to reputable podcasts, and follow organizations focused on ADHD in women. Share this knowledge with family, friends, and colleagues to increase understanding and reduce stigma. Number 2. If you suspect you or someone you know might have ADHD, seek a comprehensive evaluation from a qualified professional. Look for clinicians who have experience diagnosing and treating ADHD in adults and females. Be prepared to discuss your history, including childhood difficulties, even if they weren't recognized as ADHD at the time. Number 3, if diagnosed, explore evidence-based treatment options. This often includes a combination of medication, which can help regulate brain function, and behavioral strategies, such as coaching, therapy, and organizational training. Work with your clinician to find the right combination for your needs. Number 4, build a support system. Connect with other women with ADHD through online communities, support groups, or local meetups. Sharing experiences and strategies can be incredibly validating and empowering. Number 5, practice self-compassion. Understand that your past struggles were not due to personal failings, but to a neurological difference that wasn't properly understood or supported. Allow yourself grace and celebrate your strengths. Number 6, advocate for yourself. Learn how to communicate your needs in educational, professional, and personal settings. This might involve requesting accommodations at work or school, or explaining your challenges to loved ones. You have the right to ask for the support you need to thrive. If you liked this video and you want to support our new channel, please like this video, subscribe, and push the notification bell so you don't miss our new videos.